Hey, what is up, wrestling friends and family? Welcome to Chat Grappling Cheap Pops with your heads of the table, me, JB, and the best Chris in all of wrestling podcasts, Mr. Chris Dredd. What's going on, bro?
A lot, mate. There's a lot going on. Happy New Year, Merry Crimbo, well wishes for the new year to everybody, all of the listeners. A lot going on in the wrestling world as of Christmas Eve. I mean,
Oh
we
boy.
we we
Yeah.
put our last episode out Christmas Eve, wasn't it?
Yes.
And that was the positively positive AEW show. But
Almost fucking wish we didn't do it.
bruv, do you know what? Yeah, you say that, yeah, but as soon as this shit started happening, it was like there's so much been said, but even by TK since then. Like we've given man the benefit of the doubt, and he's just pissed it in our face, basically. Like I mean, I tell you what he has done though. Clearly, listen to the episode, bruv, because he's got AEW people on cooking shows.
That is true. That is something we saw. I believe they got Willow Nightingale out on Food Network. So yeah,
You
maybe
know
they have
what I
been listening.
mean? Like, is that coincidence or what, bro? Like, it's. I mean, it was a bit of a wild out there thing for us to say, but we were like, yeah, get your people out there on the cooking shows. Get them on there within a week.
Yeah. I mean, it's not quite Saturday Kitchen, but
It's not no, but it's getting there. You know what I mean? We offer our services to help him, to roll things out before Wembley. But I mean, I digress. There might be more shit being rolled out before we get to fucking Wembley. They
you
might not
never.
even make it to Wembley.
So, what do we want to talk about? Oh my goodness, there is so much to go on. We will try our best in these next, God knows however many minutes we're going to do this for. We're
Yeah,
going to try and talk about AEW World's End, Chris Jericho.
yeah,
Good God, man. Chris Jericho's Christmas rant, which ended up getting us blocked on X. That was
yeah,
fun.
yeah,
Day one, WWE, The Rock returns again,
yep,
makes a thinly veiled threat at the head of the table. It
yeah.
was good shit.
It's good shit, bro.
Velveteen Dreams released an apology video. What the fuck? We'll get to that.
Yeah.
What else is there to talk about, Chris?
Oh, good lord. Tony Khan,
Oh, and the scrum.
the scrum. Tony Khan. We thought that maybe Tony Khan might have an epiphany over Christmas. He might be visited by the ghosts of Christmas past, present, and future. But it seems, as we have said in
Oh,
previous
he was
shows,
he was visited by the ghost of wrestling's past, and it was called fucking speaking out.
yeah, it was.
Jesus Christ.
Wow. It was, we thought he might have a brain in that head that is on his shoulders, but it is evident now that what we've said previously to our positively positive show, that as long as Tony Khan is running the company, which he will do because he owns it, AEW will not get better. It will not change. It will always be what it is. The fact that he came out and said AEW is being rated well on Cage Match, that tells you all you need to know about what the man is going on in his head. It is delusion. It's like he doesn't care
He
about
has a
new.
he has a condition.
He has a you know what I mean? He doesn't care about getting new eyes on the product. He doesn't
But
care about expanding the viewership. He doesn't care that it's losing money. All he cares about is in his head what he thinks is going on. He is your classic delusional fucking billionaire who thinks the sun shines out of his own ass. Everything he does is amazing. He's never wrong, and he is the classic. And he ain't never gonna get no better,
I was tempted to put on a furry hat and glasses for this
bro.
video. I was really tempted, but I got a better hat.
Mate, come. The geezer's a fucking fool. He's an
I'm
absolute fool.
I'm a walking juxtaposition of a wrestling fan today. I'm WCW hat, WBF vest. What I'm on one. So let's, as Chris likes to say, begin at the beguine.
Yes, right.
Let's go all the way back to Christmas Eve, where a lot of you may or may not have seen our positively positive AEW Christmas show.
Correct.
We had a lot of fun doing that. It was hard.
Yeah, it was hard. It was fucking hard. We were pulling
That's
them out
that's
of our
what she
arse by
that's
the
what
end.
she said. But
Yeah, it was.
it was tough. We got through it. We did it. And then, Christmas Day, Chris Jericho is on a drunken rant about God knows what the fuck was he on about.
Mate, how much do you reckon he's getting fined by Danielson?
I don't think there's a fine system in place for that sort of money.
But you can't be fining people for their use of social media when they're speaking out, excuse the pun, about their lack of use on TV, and then not fine Chris Jericho for his behavior on Twitter. Surely,
Yeah,
surely you
yeah.
can't.
Don't call me Shirley.
That's
But
what I mean, bro.
but it's in such a manner here where Christmas Day is or Christmas or Boxing Day is when we get blocked by Jericho because we just said, nothing. We didn't expect to see it on the bingo card for 2023. We
Yeah.
didn't, you know. However, things got much worse in the lead up to World's End. Nick Hausman came out and he compared Jericho to Harvey Weinstein without making any concrete allegations. It was then led to an older story. Again, we have to use the word allegedly. This is what where we are and what we're doing. It was alleged that Kylie Ray left AEW after signing one of those NDAs because of something Chris Jericho may or may not have done. I mean, I don't know how to really dig deeper without causing any trouble. So
Well, let's again begin at the beginning. Let's go back to 2019, right? There were people in 2019 that were alluding to the fact that this had happened. This is in 2019.
yeah,
That people online were saying the reason why Kylie Ray left AEW was because something happened, with Jericho. She went straight to Tony Khan. Tony Khan didn't do anything because at that time, he was saying about, also spoke about Jimmy Havoc beating up one of the commentators at a restaurant and letting him go scot-free, and Kylie Ray getting these sexual advances, allegedly. And what allegedly had happened was she was invited into Chris Jericho's locker room saying that everyone's going to be in there, sort of thing. And she went along and thinking there was other people there, and he tried to make advances, and she went straight to Tony, and he was afraid that he would lose the TV deal because Chris Jericho was his only real star at that time. That sort of behavior as well, whether Jericho did it or not, it's alleged that he did do it. But whether, regardless of that, if that has that, that's some predatory behavior, mate. That
yeah.
is like
Predatory is a good word to
that
use
is
in this.
predatory behavior. That is luring someone under the pretense of everyone having a bit of a knees up and all that.
But
And
all
then
but
literally, Chris Jericho is of the stature of where he's a superstar, right? And a lot of these stars, these other, yeah, I mean, we could, it's the people
it's
can debate, but
debatable. It's arguable, yeah, that he's
it's
a
like
superstar.
he's a superstar. He's Chris Jericho, right? So, a lot of people wouldn't like to rock the boat, wouldn't like to speak out, wouldn't want to say anything, and would just sort of like brush it under the carpet or whatever. And it's happened numerous times in numerous other businesses, not to mention wrestling, but numerous other businesses where people have that sort of power or control where they're in a place of of leadership, or they're in a place of seemingly being above the person that it's happening to, and the people feel like they can't say anything because they're either going to get in trouble or lose their job or whatever. But allegedly Kylie Ray went straight to TK and said, look, like, I was told there was a rave up there, I've gone there and it's just him, and he's probably sitting in there with his with his shirt off saying, yeah, well, go on,
A little bit of the bubbly.
with
Yeah.
a little bit of bubbling, with his champagne cork in his hand.
I'm glad you
It's
said hand.
Yeah, it's this stuff does happen in the sort of boys club
Well, it's
atmosphere.
funny, isn't it? You only have to dig a little bit deeper into other tweets, and stuff like that, with, other people's alleged experiences at Fozzy shows, on the Jericho cruise. I mean, God, we never went to one of them. And getting work on AEW Dark. Again, we don't know what we don't know.
Who was it? Allegedly, something happened on one of the Jericho cruises with a member of the Guerrero family. Am I correct?
Oh, yes.
It was alleged that someone was sexually assaulted. It was Vicky and Eddie Guerrero's daughter
That's right.
was allegedly sexually assaulted on the
I don't know
Jericho.
where that went after that though. So
No, nor do I. It was one of them where someone was backing her, people were backing her, and her mum was saying
no, yeah,
other other shit. Yeah. And where was Vicky Guerrero working at that time? AEW.
it weren't WCW. Yeah,
You get what I'm saying? That is another. We're not insinuating anything. Again, when all this stuff was coming out, and I'm thinking back on stuff that I've seen and alleged stuff that come out, and that was another story linked with the Jericho cruise. Something allegedly happened on the Jericho cruise with Eddie Guerrero's daughter.
obviously we don't have the facts here.
Absolutely.
It makes no sense for us to make guesses.
Yeah.
What did shock me to no end was well, I mean, how normal of a response were you expecting from AEW fans on this?
Yeah, I mean, you'd like to think that in the instance of when allegations of sexual abuse or allegations of just deviant behavior or predatory behavior, you'd think that you're not going to go balls in and say, oh, he's fucking done it, he's guilty, if there's no real proof, it's sort of an allegation. But then on the other swing of the pendulum, you're not going to come out and go, he ain't done it, she's fucking lying, she's got mental health issues.
Oh
You're not going to
man,
just shame the victim,
what a
which is,
fucking disgrace!
bro, it's
And
disgraceful. It's
they
disgraceful.
should be hanging their heads in shame on this.
Yeah,
There is no other way to describe how fucking despicable a lot of these AEW fanatics were on this. And I couldn't care less if another one doesn't listen to our show ever again. We did the positive thing. It didn't fucking work. We tried it, and within a day they were fucking up again.
yeah, yeah.
So
We tried. We
yeah,
tried.
absolutely fucking appalled by it. And
Oh my god, bro. You know
oh,
that
it's about to get worse, isn't it?
it's about to get worse. Who's the guest cruise director on the Chris Jericho cruise?
Oh, I ain't got a
Vicky
clue.
Guerrero. She's on
Mm,
the staff.
I
She
don't
was the
know.
guest cruise director.
Again, it's not a cruise we'll ever be on.
This is unbelievable, mate. Sherilyn, she published a TikTok video. Basically, she published a TikTok video and accused Vicky's current husband, Chris Benson, of sexually assaulting her during the cruise.
Oh my goodness.
So, maybe it's a family thing not linked to Jericho, but it just seems strange that Vicky Guerrero is like the cruise guest director and all this kind of stuff, and then there's that going on. So, I mean, yeah, that's
Yeah.
another thing. But there is this sort of
Come on, this is your chance to really go after the fan base here.
it disgusted me what I saw, bro. It disgusted me to the point where I can't get into conversations online with these people. Like I say, we haven't gone in. We haven't gone in and said he's done this, he's done that, or whatever. We're reporting what has allegedly been said, but we're not then going to come out and just say this girl's lying, or this never happened, or she's got mental health issues, she's fucking done this everywhere she's gone, and all this kind of stuff. This is despicable, bro. And these fucking basement dwelling wankers have a complete lack of empathy with with human beings. Like they are living in this sort of world where they believe that these people that they see on the TV screen are somehow
They're friends, yeah.
their friends,
Yeah.
or they've been allowed to just say that. This is the problem with the internet, though, bro. This is the problem, that these people think that their opinion somehow matters, or
Yeah.
that we don't think, we just give our opinion, and whether you like it or not, it is what it is. We're not condemning anyone before evidence has come out, but also we're not going to turn around and call people a liar or saying they're mental because they may well have had something horrible happen to them and they've said about it and it's been brushed. Think about this, bruv. So is this a known fact that Kylie Ray signed an NDA? Is this like because
It's the NDA conversation started when Jericho said that he saw everything during Brawl Out
when he
and
didn't.
didn't sign an NDA, which then led to the memes of Jericho standing there saying he saw everything at the JFK assassination,
Yeah,
everything like the good shit, the funny
that's
shit.
right. Yeah.
Jericho said he was there, he saw everything at Brawl Out, like, which makes it's a bit confusing. Like, he saw everything, did nothing.
Well, the thing is, a lot of people like, and we're going from Jim Cornette here as well. Jim Cornette came out and said, "This is absolute bullshit. It's horseshit." Anyone that was there said that Jericho was just hanging around in the corner, waited for all the bigwigs to come, and then start bowled in after it had all kicked off. Again, to try and make himself
Big
look
man.
good in front of Tony Khan. We know from Jericho's behavior in AEW, the way that he's entwined himself with people that are in the main event,
Oh,
and he's
let's
still
let's let's not get this confused. Like, there's no allegedly on this. He's a fucking stooge.
he's a fucking stooge,
There you go. Like,
100%. Yeah,
yeah,
you're right. And he's always tried to, emaciate himself with the management, with whoever, right? Why, if it was their fault, would Tony Khan ask for CM Punk and Ace Steel to sign an NDA? I don't quite get that part of it, because if it's like, if they we've said from the start, right? We have said from the start that we know, for even from the storyline that everyone has said, CM Punk said whatever he said on the scrum. He was in his dressing room, and then a load of people piled into his dressing room, right? So I would be threatened by that, and I would take that as an aggressive thing, especially when you've got these people who are in a senior position in the company. These are people that are EVPs. These are people that ultimately hold your career in their hands in a way. You know what I mean?
yeah. It's
So,
it's not so much, I don't think, but
but to be an executive vice president, you are in charge of the company and booking and whatever.
yeah,
The whole situation, it's like, if you want to look at it logically, and this is what we try and do on here, we try and break it down logically, and we say, right, Chris and JB had just fucking had a tag team match. They're out in the scrum, and they're cussing out the executive VP, saying their
smashing
children.
down some cheeseburgers. Yeah,
You get what I'm saying? We're just fucking mashing down some muffins. Yeah, I'm having a root beer. We're saying what we will about the executive vice president, saying they ain't shit. And then we go back to our dressing room and we get a knock on the door, and it's the executive vice president's giving it a large, saying, "Why did you fucking say this?" Rah, rah, rah. And we're like, "Get the fuck out of our dressing room right now, else we're going to beat the living shit out of you." And they don't leave. So we end up having to beat the living shit out of them. It is what it is, bruv. It was what it was. But because the NDAs, because Tony Khan hasn't ever addressed it, we've said this again on the show, because it's never been addressed. The truth has never been put out there from the people that were actually there. It's now they're not going to be able to speak about it. There is seemingly one person that may speak about it. Yeah, she's a little bit biased, probably. So we have to sort of, think about that. But it's Ace Steele's wife. As not, and obviously Larry, never signed an NDA.
well, yeah. I'd imagine Larry couldn't be bothered. He just,
Yeah, he was like, "Fuck all this, mate."
yeah.
So we may still, we may still find out what's actually got on, but because again, nothing ever gets addressed. Nothing was ever addressed. It just came out, right, these lot have been suspended. They're taking the titles off these guys and that guys, and Tony Khan, and we will put a fucking exclamation mark on this. Tony Khan is a pussy hole. Yeah, he's a pussy hole. He cannot. He has no control over anyone. What anyone look at Jericho's behavior online, right? The first thing he should have, if it was any normal company, like we've said before, we have also said this before on a previous episode, before anyone was even talking about employee handbooks, we were talking about employee handbooks on this show.
We have to.
We spoke about it and we said, if that behavior was in any other company, there will be an employee handbook, and they would have been asked to sign a digital communications agreement, which says when you are on social media, you are a representative of this company, and anything you do is seen as representing this company, and you will be held responsible for anything that you say online. And that will be in the employee handbook. That will be in a digital communications policy. All of them would have signed it. I know about this, bruv. I've worked in HR. I've worked in management. I've run my own business. I know how it works. Whenever you've got an employee, they get given an employee handbook when they sign the contract. Says in the contracts you will adhere to all of the things stated in the employee handbook, and you always say, go and take that home and read it, and no cunt ever reads it. It is like a thing in it.
Yeah,
Wherever you go to work, you get given an employee handbook and you're told to read it, and no cunt reads it. But it says all of this stuff in it. And we were talking about this long before they were talking about it on Cornette's show or any other show. We were talking about employee handbooks and digital communication policies. We spoke about on here. So, what is going on with Tony Khan? Why can't he control his employees? Because that's ultimately what they are, mate, right?
yeah. Well, he says he can. He will get to the, AEW is the safest place in wrestling, blah, blah, blah. But we will hit that in a minute. But before we shift on to World's End, the last point I want to make on this bit on Jericho is how far the AEW fans want to go to discredit or try and make it seem like it's not a big issue or a big deal. Is that they've come out today to say that Nick Hausman retracted. And Nick Hausman, quick as a flash, said, no, I haven't. Like, that's how far they're willing to go to defend Chris fucking Jericho.
Yeah.
And AEW, like, it's weird. It's so strange. I cannot get my head around it. I don't know what to say about these freaks, man.
Let me try and get into the head of the. I know it's difficult, bruv, yeah, to get into their heads.
Christ.
And I'm struggling to understand the mindset of why people would try and defend people they don't know on certain behavior when there are other stories that have come out over the years of, let's just say, Chris Jericho's sexual improprieties. Is that a political way to say it? The fact that he has on numerous occasions been, how many times has he cheated on his wife? Let's be fucking honest. And let's be honest, a lot of wrestlers do. That's not necessarily news, right? These fuckers, bruv, honestly, it gets me angry, bruv. These fuckers are like, they've heard exactly the same as what we've heard, right? They have heard that he didn't just try to slide into her DMs or just try and just casually shoot his shot. What is alleged to have happened is he's tried to sort of entrap someone in a fucking locker room and make them feel.
He has tried to slide in other DMs. Like, it is.
Bro, right?
We're trying to get guests on, trust me.
We're trying to, because this is the thing, brother. We've made predictions about that between us of who we believe certain superstars are, wrestlers are that have been sliding into certain OnlyFans models' DMs that they've come out online and said, I've had former AEW heavyweight champions slide in my DMs, and there ain't many of them. There ain't many AEW former, people go straight away to MJF. I don't think so. I don't think so. These fuckers, they've had the same information that we've had. And the information that we have had is not that he was just trying to slyly shoot his shot and having a chat with her and trying to chat her up. That'd be something different. But the alleged basically trying to entrap her into the locker room, saying there's going to be loads of people there, and she gets there and it's just him. And then, women, no matter what in this fucking world that people are trying to say there's no difference between men and women, and, men can be women and women can be men and all that. I believe that's absolute horseshit, right? Because if you've got a woman who is seemingly a bit timid or whatever, and then she's put in a situation that she wasn't expecting with someone quite overbearing and a larger than life character, and someone who seemingly has a bit of stroke in the company and all this sort of shit, and it's
a possible hero.
Yes, you get what I'm saying. In a workplace environment, which is exactly what that locker room is. It's a workplace environment, right? Then that is improper, right? That is not a correct way to behave. That is predatory behavior, bro. And these fuckers have heard exactly what we've heard. And all I saw on these threads was, oh, what? We're supposed to fucking think that he's a wrong un just because he's trying to shoot his shot and all that. And it's like, whoa. Pull back on those reins there, boy. Like, first of all, the geezer's married, so he's a fucking wrong. And even if he is trying to shoot his shot, he's got a wife and all that. And secondly, you've heard in the way in which he tried to do it. It wasn't, or allegedly tried to do it. It wasn't just you casually, everyone's out for a drink and you just sit next to her at the bar and say, all right, love, yeah, do you want to see me windmill? It's other,
Helicopter.
you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's a different fucking sort of predatory sort of behavior. So they've heard the same information we have, but they're sort of scrambling, clutching at these
Do,
straws.
do you think there's an AEW fan handbook where wake up in the morning, must defend Tony Khan and AEW? If you've done it once, you're okay. Like if you haven't done it, like, you have to get it in before the end of the day.
But it's fucked up. But I still don't understand why why are they like this, bro? Is it because the certain demographic of fan is just a certain way? Is that why?
That's the
Is it?
fan base they wanted. That's the fan base they went after. Remember, that's the fan base they've cultivated. It's that fan base. Die hard, fanatical, a little bit odd,
Yeah,
possibly basement dwelling,
and
under a bridge dwelling. Who
yeah,
knows? Fucking
yeah,
hell.
yeah.
And yes, we are mocking the diehard AEW fans because we don't give a fuck about the AEW hardcore fans. They are at the moment, at least, they are, you know,
Sick as fuck.
pricks.
They're pricks. They're toxic as fuck.
Fuck
This,
them.
if you cannot look at a situation like this objectively, right, and say to yourself, right, I'm going to withhold judgment and I'm going to withhold white knighting for anyone until this sort of shit gets sorted out. And I'm not going to just jump to the defense of Chris Jericho without knowing anything. But,
It's weird.
like I say, this is not the first story that has come out about his sexual improprieties. That is, he enjoys. There's pictures of him snogging other birds and all that have come out and stuff like that. Fozzy dressing rooms and things of that nature. We're not
He's
talking about.
he's an aging wrestling slash pretend rock star that wants to live that life. He wants groupies.
Yeah,
He
I
wants
mean,
rats.
he does. Of course, he does. He wants groupies and rats.
He thinks he's 30.
Did he write? Did he write Judas?
I don't know, maybe.
Because
I
someone
think he might have done.
I saw online the breakdown of the first like sentence. It was like what is it? You are beautiful on the inside.
Yeah.
Something else. Yeah, innocence personified. I will hold you down and break you down or whatever.
Yeah.
Run away. And it's like, is he telling on himself? Like, is he telling on himself? Like, is that what you're doing?
Snitching on himself.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, are you snitching, bruv? Are you sly snitching? He's like, OJ, what if I would have done it? What if you'd have shut the fuck up? You know what I mean? Like, are you snitching on yourself, bruv, in a way? But again, we digress.
Yeah.
But, this is a horrific situation. And for it to snowball the way it did, when COVID happened, it created an environment where people felt like they could actually talk about things that had happened because they wouldn't necessarily have to next week be in a dressing room with these people, or they wouldn't next month bump into them on the road somewhere. Or do you get what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
speaking out happened because the environment where people felt like they could say something happened. And then this thing with Jericho, where he's come out and he's been ranting and talking shit and people are shutting him down, and created again the sort of environment where people are saying, yeah, Jericho's a prick, bruv. Look at all this stuff. It created that sort of environment where people
Yeah.
say, no, he's a prick, mate. Look at all this shit. Will we see in the future more stuff coming out? Will we see?
I'm
Because
concerned. I'm concerned that there will be.
allegedly there are other women who have stories. Will we hear the stories?
We may well. Let's move on from that and let's dive in because this directly affected World's End, AEW World's End, the pay-per-view, which for some reason I stayed up and watched from start to finish, scrum included.
Bro, you know what these basement dwellers were saying as well, though? That
Yeah,
this whole thing had been invented and brought out at a time just to fuck over the pay-per-view.
didn't need it.
It fucked itself over.
Didn't need it. Yeah. The
It fingered
the
its
show
owner.
the show itself, I will briefly go over because I'm pretty sure you haven't watched it in full, Chris.
I have not watched it in full. I have watched clips. I have watched parts of matches. I have watched segments.
Yeah.
So I have caught up on it.
Let me start quickly on the disappointment of the finish of Willow Nightingale and Chris Statlander. It fell apart at the end. Just because people saw it fall apart and say it fell apart doesn't mean you hate women's wrestling. On the contrary, we quite like it. We quite enjoy women's wrestling.
One of my favorite wrestlers, even now, is Asuka.
Yeah,
She's been my favorite, one of my favorites for years.
and Bailey.
Well, obviously, you know what I'm saying, the Bunda.
But yeah, I was disappointed with how it ended because it turned into a bit of a mess.
Yeah.
Then we get onto the main show, and some of the things that were going on, like it was a weird show, but let's dip into an 8-man tag, which did not go well. First off, the singing of Judas, because Chris Jericho was there. They didn't pull him from the show. They let him get on with it. He comes out. There's a few people singing Judas. A few people. Not everyone's on the internet. I understand that. Not everyone reads and does that. But there were people visibly annoyed that other people weren't cheering for Jericho in this situation, and that
There
is
was
very
people apparently booing and they sort of like blanked it out, the booing.
well. No, there was no. I could hear the booing. And I had the volume on quite low. To be fair, like it wasn't not something I could have up loud at night with kids around, like in
Don't
the
let your
middle in
kids watch AEW.
in the middle of the fucking. I didn't trust me.
Yeah.
And yeah, Jericho got booed. Jericho, he looked like a man that did not want to be there.
He phoned it in when you
And
look at
he,
the match.
and to be fair, he looked like a man that will probably be sitting at home for the next few weeks.
Well, let's hope he's a man who's a couple of quid poorer after his behaviour on the internet, and let's hope Danielson or
Yeah,
whoever does fine him for the behaviour on the internet.
yeah. There was the Continental Classic final. Not for me. Eddie Kingston can talk anyone into a wrestling show. He can talk them into it. But when it gets down to the match with him and Moxley, it's two drunk dads fighting at Christmas over who was tougher 10 years ago.
Bruv, the finish was absolute trash as well because, you know, you've got Moxley kicking out of like fucking power bombs and other savage moves, and then you've got him being pinned after a backhand slap. It's
Poor one
like
at that. A
a
poor one.
poor one at that.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
were, lots of chops, lots
trash.
of, maybe they were trying to evoke memories of Triple Crowns in All Japan and stuff like that. It didn't. Yeah, we'll move on. Swerve and what eventually turned out to be Dustin Rhodes. Swerve jumped on a breeze block onto Dustin's foot in the first few minutes of this match. They went for another like 15 fucking minutes. Who the fuck booked that shit? That
You
was
know,
the worst load of booking. They could say Dustin, oh, he came back, it looked good, the match was okay. No, the match was finished.
yeah. You smash a man's foot with a breeze block. That
I,
should be it.
where do you go from that?
Yeah,
Oh, I'll set him on fire and then, run him over in my truck and he kicked out on two.
that's right.
Fuck's sake, man.
Right. And
That
I
and that
like Dustin.
annoyed. I
I
like
like
Swerve.
Dustin and I like Swerve. Exactly. I was
Yeah,
gonna say, we like those two guys, but
bugged the shit out of me. That did.
shit show.
Yeah, it absolutely was. Miro and Andrade was fun. Knowing full well that Andrade is his time with the company is up. Same goes for Sean Spears. His time is over in AEW, and with QT Marshall, his time is up as well. Only Andrade got a send off in on the pay-per-view in the ring as such. Like, he worked with Miro. Miro isn't someone that wants to stick around either.
Yeah. Yeah.
He wants to go, Malachi Black, Alistair Black, whatever you want to call him. He wants to go. No singles matches in 2023 for him. That has got to be a slap in the bollocks.
Yeah.
So
He has
AEW
no
fans, not one singles match in 2023 in AEW.
Wow.
It's an incredible stat, and it's also shockingly bad. Some AEW fans said it's because he refused to do job.
And he came out and said that was absolute horseshit as
Yep,
well.
he did. And
I
fair
mean,
play to him. Fair play
yeah,
to him for sticking up for himself.
he has been injured though as well.
Yeah, but
To be
not
fair,
all year round.
but not all year. Yeah, correct.
And he's worked plenty of matches. He worked Wembley, didn't he?
Yeah.
The guy is too good to be sat in a trios match every week.
Bro. Talk about Adam Copeland.
We will. Oh, it's game changer season. Say it softly for him.
Game changer season.
Can you hear that? That is
Oh,
all
ASMR, mate.
fucking goosebumps. Yeah.
Goosebumps, bruv. You got poo skin pulls, yeah?
Yeah. It is game changer season. However, we will continue to talk about World's End because Adam Copeland, Christian Cage, it's it's brings back memories of 90s hardcore matches. It's, for those who love a bit of nostalgia, there it was. It was fine.
It was, but it wasn't though as well
No,
because
because Nick Wayne got dropped on his head.
and
But
how did Edge miss the table completely? And
yeah,
the AEW media team felt it necessary to use that exact clip to promote the match on their social media platforms.
yeah,
So they're using again, but this is not the first time they've done it. They have repeatedly used botched spots as their video clips for their social media. And it goes to show that they do not have, or maybe it's because people are botching the fucking top spots that people are telling them to use. Surely, if you're a wrestling fan and you look at that and go, no, we can't use that clip. We're gonna
uh,
get fucking, we're gonna get torn apart.
yeah. Controversy sometimes does create cash, as Eric Bischoff once said. But this sort of controversy just creates apathy. It doesn't give you the feeling to go and watch the whole match or go and buy a pay-per-view. You just look at it and go, oh, he dropped him on his fucking head. How stupid. They're not very safe there, are they?
That's correct. He's only been there 10 minutes and already he's, botching shit,
But
you
yeah.
know? But I'm not being
you
funny.
got you got to fit in, didn't you?
You've got to fit in. When in Rome, you know what I mean? You've got to ask yourself the question. Edge and Christian have been in this business long enough to know when a place is hot and when a place is not. I know they're doing everything and they've got a bit of stroke to do sort of what
I'm
they want.
sure they do. I'm sure they know when it's hot and when it's not. But when the only place they can go is not hot, they have to be there. TNA at the time, Impact couldn't afford them.
Yeah,
WWE didn't want them. WWE offered, Billy told us they offered
yeah,
Edge less money, less dates. He said no, thank you. He wanted more money with less dates.
yeah.
He got it. There was no bidding war for Edge or Adam
No.
Copeland. There was
No,
no
he's Edge.
bidding.
I
There was
don't give a fuck.
no
He's
bidding
fucking
war for Christian Cage.
yeah.
This is where they
And
are because it's the only place that will have them.
yeah, but they must, you've got to say, career wise, it was a bad move for Edge. Money wise, it was probably great, but
Oh, yeah.
fantastic. He's already Hall of Fame bound. He's already in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, he already has a legacy. He doesn't. It doesn't. Maybe it doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of it for him. He's already rich. He's getting richer. He's
Yeah,
working less.
yeah.
He gets to say fuck and bugger on TV now.
He does like Davina McCall in Bo Selector.
Yeah. Where else are we going? Oh man, Abaddon and Julia Hart. It was okay. It wasn't great. Again, I know you're a big Abaddon fan, but it didn't really work.
When you've got a women's division that could be good, but the problem is you're not giving the women long enough screen time. How many women's matches were on this card? Two out of how
Three,
many matches?
three if you count the pre-show.
It's not enough, is it?
No.
It's not enough. Absolute horseshit for Tony Khan to then talk about having women's tag team championship and all this kind of stuff when you can't even get your women's division right, mate. You've got people there that could do bits
They've
and
got
bobs.
one. They've got one thing right, and you know
Yeah,
where I'm going with this.
yeah. They've kept the strap on Tony Storm.
Yeah, timeless Tony Storm is a fantastic gimmick right now. It is. It's one of the better things on the show. You can't really fault it. She is killing it in character. It is something else. It's quite fucking refreshing in a
It's
way.
brilliant,
Yeah.
And I saw a TikTok that they done. Have you seen that TikTok? Of course, it's a trend called "Of Course," and they're like, "I'm a female wrestler, so of course I
Oh
do this."
no, I did see it. Yeah,
You
no,
seen
you're
it?
right. Yeah.
And you've got Tony Storm saying, "I'm a female wrestler, so of course I do 10 nervous shits before I get out there." And then you've got fucking Ref Aubrey saying, "I'm not a female wrestler, but I get paid to watch them fight in their underwear," or something like that, and all that. And then you've got fucking Nyla Rose coming out with, "I'm a female wrestler." I know. I'm a, I'm a female wrestler, but half of you people say I'm not talented because you're simply for the reason that you're not attracted to me or something like that. And it's like,
Right?
what horse shit are you talking about, mate? Like, mate,
Very
well,
odd. Yeah.
it's really strange stuff, And then you've got Chris Statlander. I mean, she's not the greatest at promos anyway, and she even fluffs this little bit, like that she does on there.
I sorry, I need to jump in because they talked about promos throughout, or like after the pre-show. In fact, Wheeler Yuta came out and cut a promo on Hook and on Long Island, in general, New York. People were upset about it. Oh, it was rubbish. It was this, it was that. I'm not disappointed in it. I'm glad they sent him out there. I'm glad they gave him a microphone and they gave him a couple of minutes to do something. Give him that chance. He's only going to get better after this.
Yeah,
Should you be pre-taping him and doing them backstage, give him more than one shot at it? Sure. But fuck it. It's not even sink or swim. You're only gonna get better at it if you keep going out there and doing it. And I'm not the biggest Wheeler Yuta fan. I've said it many times.
oh,
It's
we're
not
not.
it's not on the level of the Dark Order. Fuck them. But send him out there, let him cut a promo. I'm fine with it. I'm totally fine if he fucks it up. It doesn't matter. It's a fucking pre-show.
Yeah,
People need to get off their high horses. How else is he going to get better? There's no fucking PC to do it. There's no television facility for him to go and get better. He has to do it live.
yeah. And don't you think it's funny? In our one of our previous interviews recently with Billy Barty, the man Billy, we spoke with Bill about ways that AEW could save money, right?
Yeah.
And did you notice that in Daly's place where they managed to pack it out. And he was saying about if they just don't go on tour, just get yourself a facility and just stay in that facility and do your shows there. Daly's place was somewhere that they've always been, right?
Well, it's like attached to the Jaguars
Yeah.
stadium, isn't it?
So
So
yeah, so why and in all likelihood probably owned by the Khans.
yes.
So it's funny, isn't it, how Billy's all pretty much right on a lot of stuff, right? And he gets
People aren't ready for that conversation.
they're not of course they're not.
No, they're not. And
And
that's up to them. They'll get it, but they're not ready for that conversation yet.
yeah,
Maybe when maybe part 4 of Billy Barty on Chat Grapple and Cheap Pops, they'll get it.
that's right. Maybe they will. The fact is, like, we love having Bill on here, and he loves coming on.
Yeah.
And it's one of them ones where he don't get much wrong. And he from his deductions about what he's talking about, how much money they've lost and how much it costs to run a TV show. They couldn't go far wrong with just packing out Daly's place for Dynamite and that every week, could they?
Yeah. No.
You know?
It's so easy when you look at it from our perspective.
Yeah, from objective eyes.
Yes. There you go. Moving on with the show, let's get to the rest of World End and finish it as quick as we can because
Go for it, babes.
yeah, where did we get to? The Continental Classic. Yeah, that finished. That was done.
But the thing is,
finally.
again, with that was lazy booking because we knew from the start he was going to win it.
Yeah.
Everyone knew. The fact that when they brought up about it, all Tony Khan was talking about, we've mentioned this on the show even previously when we were talking about the scrum of the last thing or the media call or whatever they done fucking before. All Tony Khan was talking about was Eddie Kingston, Eddie Kingston, Eddie Kingston, Eddie Kingston, Eddie Kingston. It's like, it's fucking lazy booking. We all knew.
Yeah.
And the fact that he lost his first 2 matches. Oh, the comeback.
Oh, it's a very much, yeah. It was a G1 move, wasn't it?
It was fucking classic, mate. It was your classic lazy booking, bro. So anyway,
it was essentially the Continental Classic was the G1, but without all the great wrestling. Yeah. Main event: Samoa Joe and Little Maxwell. MJF pens a letter on the Players Tribune website. He does that whole thing, that whole shtick of he's tired, he's hurt, his hips hurt, he's this, he's that. I get it. He talks about other people in this note as well, in this letter, this whatever you want to call it, editorial piece, including Chris Jericho. But the match is okay. There's nothing wrong with it. I like Samoa Joe. I like MJF. I know you like MJF.
Absolutely. I love Samoa Joe. I've been a fan of Samoa Joe for years.
And Joe wins with a choke clean. clean at all. The choke isn't even in properly. Like, it's maybe down to poor camera angles, but it's also down to them not getting in
The
position.
camera angle was terrible as well, though, bruv.
Yeah.
There was no sort of on his face. Do you
No
get what I'm
close up.
saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was literally like a far off shot of it of him,
We
And
hate to
Samoa Joe, you want to see fucking.
we hate to be, Kevin Dunn fans in this, but he would have gone close up on the face.
Yeah,
Say he's out. He's
yeah.
finished. His arm's going to drop. And it does. It drops 3 times to the surprise of everyone because the air gets sucked out of the room. Samoa Joe almost sheepishly grabs the belt and walks out. And then we get the big reveal of the fucking devil. And it's worse than you could have imagined. It wasn't Jack Perry. It wasn't one of the potential game changers that we were talking about. It's Adam Cole, baby, with one leg. And his crew, who also unmask.
Oh, what the mid card mafia? Yeah,
Yes, the mid card mafia, Mike Bennett, he's low card mafia. Fucking hell. Wardlow. Like, what the fuck, man? You could have been big. And
I
now
said
you're
it. Well, I said Wardlow was part of it, though, innit?
yeah.
The other week, because I said about people was clocking his boots.
And yeah, I very poor, very, very underwhelming finish.
Lazy,
What
lazy.
what do you do? I don't particularly care for Roderick Strong. I don't think he's that good. I don't think, this character with the neck brace. I don't see it. I don't
He's
I
trying
don't
to be
care.
Avid Marion, bruv. He's trying to be Avid Marion. Yeah, the bow
Yeah.
selector with the neck brace. He's trying to be hello. He's trying to be Avid.
The other thing is, how does MJF get any heat back by beating up a geezer with one leg?
But also, bro, what was the point in them revealing themselves after Joe won clean? What
They did nothing to
affect the result?
affect the match. Yeah,
What was the point?
it's story wise, it's off, it's
Horrible.
clunky, it's all over the place. It was poor.
It was
But
that is the worst booking of what they could have possibly done with that. Even if you're going to go with Adam Cole and the mid card mafia, at least have them do something in the match to sort of make him lose the title. To get, do you get what I mean? Like, because what have they done?
yeah,
What they've done nothing. What are they going to say? Oh, all the stuff they've been doing over the weeks has been just to sort of intimidate him or whatever. And he's already said he was fucked physically. That's probably why he lost.
and
Unreal.
if you thought it couldn't get any worse, I stayed awake for the media scrum.
Can we just sorry?
Oh
Can I
fuck.
just quickly say as well? There's news coming out that people are thinking MJF's going to WWE.
Yes, it is apparent that his most recent contract would have run out as of what, the 1st of January,
Mhm.
31st of
Yeah.
December, whatever. This is not your Sean Spears Andrade situation. As far as we're aware, MJF had re-signed a while ago.
Yeah, this is what again our sources have told us.
Yeah,
Um,
there's
we
no
got
way
better
he's shown up
sources
in a
than
Royal
Meltzer, mate.
Rumble. Exactly.
Innit? We got better sources than Meltzer. From I know what our source says is, no, he signed ages ago, mate. He ain't going nowhere.
So there you go. Yeah.
So,
I'm not with no need to even touch on it.
yeah.
Like, as far as I'm aware. Like, let's move on to the scrum because fuck me. This was bad. This was really bad. And a lot of that has got to be attributed to one group of people in particular, Fightful. Hi, Fightful. You might remember us, especially Mr. Sapp.
He's blocked
Your,
us, though, isn't he? So.
yeah, your line of he'll unblock us just to see if we've tweeted about him. Your line of questioning was poor and a bunch of fucking softballs to Tony Khan. Shame on you for that, because everyone knows what the line of questioning should have been. And only 2 people had the guts. One guy from USA Today and another guy from The Observer. Now, we don't usually fuck with The Observer, but he had the brains, not the balls. He had the brains to fucking ask the question. And yeah, one guy from USA Today asked a proper question. Someone else from Fightful said, "What would 14-year-old Tony Khan think, when he's booking this show?" Like, fuck off, man.
Mm.
I am not here to listen to that shit. So all it says to me is, 1, stop inviting marks to your fucking press conferences. And 2, start inviting proper shows, proper podcasts, proper people to these shows to ask proper questions. No more, what does 14-year-old Tony think of this? Oh, you just won. How do you feel?
Yeah.
What the fuck do you think he fucking feels?
Mm.
Samoa Joe's world champion. Like, Samoa Joe had to cut a promo. He had to, like, end up cutting a promo because the questions were so shit.
Yeah.
Like, start inviting other. I don't mean us. We're not. We're never getting invited to that shit.
We're not. We've never got a seat at that table, whether it's the head or not. We are never going to be invited to that powwow. You
No,
know, so and we don't necessarily want to be, but you know, at least sort of open it up past that sort of circle jerk of
it was.
journalists. So, you know,
The only other decent, question in there came from a good friend of ours, Brian R. Solomon.
yeah.
Shout out, Brian.
Shout out Brian, good friend of the show, mate.
Yeah,
Good friend of the show.
and
Two-time guest on the show, right?
yeah, and between that and Tony wearing the furry hat and the glasses to answer questions about sexual abuse, I don't know. It did not work. Here's
You know,
hoping they get serious in their next one at their next
when
fucking pay-per-view, whenever that
yeah, I
is.
mean, when you got the guy looking like fucking Lenny Kravitz,
Yeah.
you know, being asked a serious question about, you know, and then he's got the cheek to say we're the safest environment and all that. We've got things in place. Have
Yeah.
you? You got procedures in place, have you? Where would that be written?
Oh,
An
no, no, no!
employee
Don't
handbook?
don't don't ask questions. He said it's there.
Yeah.
Just believe it. All right, it's there. You don't have to look in the book. It's fine.
Bro, this is not Peter Pan in Neverland where you just got to believe and then you can fly. Like, this is not. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, we need some sort of, you know, reassurances that you are dealing with possible, you know, things that are going on in your company. But we know that he is a complete pussyhole. He does not deal with, and you know, and it was good. You know, there were people that have been on the show at the, you know, the Elliot Greenberg was
Yeah,
at the
Keith.
show
Yeah, yeah.
with Keith Elliott Greenberg. You know, was at the show with Brian Solomon. They met up at the show. I've seen pictures on, you know, because we're Facebook friends and all that with all these guys. You know, we are, you know, part of the wrestling media, so to speak. You know, so we see that
Broadcast
we
journalists.
are broadcast journalists, you know, and we've got friends in certain places, and we see that they're going to these things. So you have got legitimate, you know, people there. You know, like we're saying, Keith Elliott Greenberg, your Brian R. Solomons, you know, people like that. But then you've got these other people that are just complete softball. There was one article that I saw online, and it was from the New York Post, and it was, you know, a non-wrestling, you know, rag sheet, saying, you know, that World's End was just really bad. It was just really bad,
It wasn't great,
you know, and it wasn't, you know, uh,
but
what.
what did Cage Match think of it?
But this is the thing, like this is unreal that as a metric to measure how well you think your product is doing, you would even cite Cage Match as a metric. What the fuck is going through your mind? I
You might
don't
as well.
get
You
it.
might as well say my employees thought it was okay.
It's absolutely nuts.
Yeah.
It's absolutely nuts. The delusion is real.
Let's get right into straight up delusion as well. There are more reports flying around than I care to see today about Mercedes Monet and the possibility of $5 million a year to work in AEW. I mean, the word is that she asked for more to go and work with the WWE, but it looks like Nick Khan and Triple H had other ways to spend that money, including day one by sending Dwayne out.
Yeah.
I get it. It makes a lot of sense to send, but there's also, as well as we are chatting, it looks like WWE is about to feel the glow all over again. Trinity could well be back.
Trinity.
Yeah,
Bruv, what did I say? What have we said that she was going to go back there?
yeah.
We said this.
Made sense. It makes perfect sense.
We said
I
this.
feel bad that Trinity was possibly led astray here.
Yeah,
And
absolutely. By someone who, let's face it, had a bit more stroke professionally and had a bit more pull professionally, sort of strung her along a little bit. And she's sort of possibly seen the error of her ways. We said this
but
before
the
that
WWE is
she'd
not
go
one to
back.
bear a grudge. They will bring someone back if it makes sense, and it does.
Absolutely.
So there
We
is
said that
that.
though. Again, we was right, bruv. We said
Yeah,
she was gonna go
we
back.
were right.
We said it.
So, sorry, Graham.
So, but we did say, we said, yeah, absolutely she'll go. And I still believe that Sasha Banks will return. I think that, think about it logically, bruv. Sasha Banks, the way she is, and you can tell that she's a bit money hungry and that she thinks she's the best thing going today. She will get to AEW.
No harm in having that sort of belief in yourself. There's no
Absolutely, no,
harm in that.
absolutely. But when you go into a place like AEW, there's so many other women there that they haven't got the infrastructure. We've said this, they don't have the infrastructure to have multiple stars in high places. So then what's going to happen then to if Sasha Banks or Mercedes goes to AEW to the other girl?
If you were smart and you were a Mercedes, you sign a 1 year deal.
Yeah, you don't. Yeah, you don't.
Take 5 big ones, and after the year, go. Sorry, I'm going there.
You can retire after
Well, you
that.
could do that, yeah. But
But yeah, I honestly think if she will go to AEW and she'll expect to just be the top gal for the whole time. And I think it might rub other people up the wrong way. And I think it would be a mental move. Again, I don't think it's going to help the women's division. I
okay.
honestly don't think it's going to help the women's division one bit. Just my personal opinion. I don't think that them
Well, if
signing.
you bring in Mercedes, you could essentially end up cutting Timeless Tony off at the knees.
Well, exactly, because
And there's a longer story and somewhat there's a lot of growth with Tony Storm there. There's with Mercedes, she's coming in as a big star. Or as a supposed big star. She's coming in, she's taking that title, and then what?
Yeah,
She's not going to endear herself to the AEW fans with that sort of, you know,
arrogant.
booking.
No, of
Yeah,
course not.
yeah, booking and
Because she,
behaviors.
yeah, but that's the thing. That's how she's going to be booked. I'm the superstar. Fuck all you lot, you know. And that's how she should be booked. Really, like, But I don't think that's going to help AEW one bit. Not the
No.
women's division one bit. I don't think it will be conducive to making the division stronger. But we'll see.
Yes, we
If
will.
she, again, people are smelling the dollars. They're like, we'll go to AEW for a year, sign a huge contract, made a shitload of money, and then fuck off.
Well,
You know?
people used to call Eric Bischoff ATM Eric. I guess it's the same for Tony.
I mean, Tony's worse.
Yeah.
So at least when Eric was signing people, he had the infrastructure in the company to sort of accommodate certain people. All right, there were a lot of people sort of that ended up sitting at home and not doing much. They were at least sort of challenging WWE. AEW's not challenging WWE.
No,
They
not
beat
even
Raw,
close.
which was like a fucking. They beat one of the shows, but it
Oh,
was.
they beat the Christmas recap.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
It's the
yeah.
Christmas
Which
recap
is
show.
there was no need to get excited about that. Like it was essentially a year review special that
Highlight.
nobody's going to watch that. More people are going to have tuned in to watch, this episode of Raw, which was technically last night, and see Dwayne and see Seth and Drew, and see another failed cash in from fucking Priest.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Like we'll stick with WWE for a minute. Velveteen Dream, or Patrick Clark, as is his real name. He apologized today on Twitter for his. Well, he didn't really give, what he was apologizing
I was
for.
going to say, he didn't even really say what he was apologizing for. He was just saying that he apologized for his previous behaviors or whatever,
Mm.
So, I mean,
I don't, he's apologizing to the right people within wrestling, but in the wrong way. He's doing this massive public apology to Triple H and Shawn Michaels. That should be a private apology. I'm pretty sure they're looking at it from where we are and going, yeah, he obviously wants to be back on TV,
Yeah.
but he's not going to get it this way. Velveteen Dream will not be seen on WWE TV for a long time. And if he is, it's because someone's lost their fucking mind. What else have we got? I'm sure there was more that we had to talk about, Chris. What have you got for me?
No, there was a couple of bits, but it's a little bit emotional, bruv. Like, because the thing that has sort of sucked the life out of me this week is the sort of blind apologists. Do you get what I mean? Like, it's these blind apologists that are apologizing for people that they have no They don't know these people. They have no idea. There's other people. Dana Massey, who is actually married to Matt Jackson.
Yes,
Um,
she has left AEW. Is that right?
yeah, she's left AEW, and allegedly it's because she was not happy that her husband's name has not been cleared with regards to Brawl Out.
I mean, it
Allegedly,
adds a layer to the fucking story, doesn't it?
yeah. So yeah, we're again still in the dark about Brawl Out. We don't have a clue what's gone on. There are multiple people that have left AEW. It's likely Tony.
Tony Khan paid tribute to Andrade, QT Marshall, and one of his live events guy. That was it. He said nothing about Spears. He said nothing about Dana. Nothing like that. He just
Yeah, so that again, that it's not what he said, it's what he didn't say.
yeah
Do you get what I mean? That's
yeah
telling.
yeah.
It's not what he said, it's what he didn't say. So him not even mentioning Sean Spears, what's gone on there? Yeah. You got to read into it a little bit, you know. We'll see. You know, Tony's gonna get his checkbook out, you know, and
Yeah.
he's gonna be signing other people. You know, we will see the product is still generally not improving as it should be or as we would like it to. The gluckers are still glucking
Oh yeah,
as
it's
they do.
deep.
So no matter what the product is doing, they are going to be gluckaroony. So we'll see, man. You know, it's just the thing. That's what sucked it out of me, bro. You know, if there are allegations of sexual misconduct or just basically not necessarily sexual misconduct, but just being a creepy fucker, yeah, don't defend it before you know what's gone on. You can't come out and just start degrading the possible victim and victim shaming straight away. These people are fucking disgusting human beings.
Yeah.
Wankers.
Uh, if we could be serious for a minute, I want to touch on the loss of Curtis Chapman, aka the Mad Kurt. Man, I only saw him a couple of times,
Yeah, we've seen him in
and
Stevenage.
each like I mean, that first time I saw him, I think it was the first or so. He was singing someone else's theme song with a microphone. It was fucking awful, but it was hilarious at the same time.
He was in pajamas as well.
That too, yeah. It seems like he loved his PJs.
Yeah, he was in
Um,
pajamas. He was with Ricky Knight Jr., wasn't he?
yeah, he was singing Ricky Knight Jr.'s theme song in the worst way possible, but it was entertaining. So, the guy clearly knew how to get
It was good in a
shit
match as
over.
well. He was good in the
He
match,
was,
weren't
yeah.
he? He was in the matches we've seen him. He was entertaining, highly entertaining. Knew what he was doing. So yeah, rest in peace, man. It's fucking sad.
Also known for his incredible trolling of Austin Aries and EC3.
Yeah,
I mean, you can't get any better than that. If you're trolling Austin Aries, then you're doing something right.
yeah.
Yeah, rest in peace, man.
Sad news,
It
man. He
was
was
yeah.
very young.
He's in his like mid-20s.
Fucking nuts.
Like, it's fucking nothing. It's nothing, is it? It's like you haven't
Was he not even 30?
no like
Wow.
26 or 24, something like that, I think.
Wow.
But yeah, it's always sad when that sort of shit comes up. What else have you got for me, Chris? Before we go, before we
Well,
wrap
mate,
this up.
all I can say is we gave Tony the olive branch of hope. You know, we gave him,
He dashed it back at us.
and he's dashed it back. You know, in our faces,
He shot
basically.
it back at us with a crossbow, the chief.
Yeah, like absolute chief. So we can't really do much. We can't really do much more to give him the benefit of the doubt. I don't think. I don't think we can. I don't think we can extend that anymore. I think we've got to look at it at the point of it's a bit of a lost cause. Tony Khan is just going to do what he's doing. He's just going to keep doing it. When he was asked a question in one of these interviews, rather than address anything, it's just like everything's brilliant. Everything's brilliant. Oh, it's amazing. It's
Great.
brilliant.
Yeah.
Everything's, you
It's
know,
great. It's safe. It's great.
it's great. It's brilliant. It's fine. It's like he's in denial, bro. He's absolutely in denial about anything that is actually going to go wrong. And that will be the downfall of that company. I'm telling you now, we can't afford him privilege anymore of giving him the benefit of the doubt that one day he might come to his senses. I think that possibility is dead now.
Oh, it's gone, isn't it?
It's gone. If you
Absolutely
can't
gone.
objectively look at things that are going wrong and do something about it and address them, but no, you double down. He's doubling down. So yeah, I think the idea that he may one day have an epiphany and come to his senses and start taking control of the company, that's long gone, mate. It's never happening.
Yeah.
So it will be what it will be, unfortunately.
And there you go.
That's it.
That's it. So let's finish this up. Let's say thank you to our one and only sponsor of this show, the great Surfshark VPN. Follow and hit the link in our description for 83% off and 3 free months of VPN goodness. And that comes with your virtual prophylactic itself, the
Right.
virus protector, all that good shit.
Right, you've got your virus antivirus software. You can have it on multiple accounts. You've got your VPN on multiple devices. Sorry, you've got your VPN. You know, if you're in a hotel room somewhere and you in America or Mexico or whatever, and you want to watch EastEnders on fucking what
That's it.
BBC player.
EastEnders, yeah, that's what you
Yeah,
want to watch.
EastEnders. You know, if you want to watch that, then just type in your location, Bognor Regis, Wolford. You know what I mean? Type in your location, and you'll be in the UK, and you can watch whatever you want from the comfort of in the safety, in the knowledge that your personal information is all safe on that computer, or that device, or whatever you're doing. So, Surfshark, as my esteemed colleague and broadcast journalist and friend said, go to the link in the description, click on the link, use the promo code GRAPPLE, and you will get that deal. 83% off and 3 months for free. Cracking deal, excellent value, great product. Go and do it. Helps out the show, as does clicking like, clicking share, clicking subscribe on any platform you're listening to, on Podbean, Spotify, Deezer, Castbox, Apple Podcast, Amazon Podcast, wherever you're listening to this on. Give us a like, give us a follow, give us a 5-star. It really does help the show. It doesn't cost anything, but it really does help us out. So please do that.
Perfectly said. We have to, before we leave this show, we have to thank the good people of Australia.
Oh, fucking good
Goodness
on you, mate.
me. Fucking
Fucking
hell.
A.
What sort of fucking nutcase do you have to be, or nutcases in this situation, to put these two motherfuckers in 13th in the Apple Podcasts wrestling charts in Australia?
And
Goodness
they love their
fucking
wrestling.
me.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
They fucking love it. We're in great company. We're up there with your
Yeah.
cornets,
Literally, yeah, like
with
in
your
the
Stone
same
Colds, with your,
the same
we're up there.
page
Yeah.
as Stone Cold, Jim Cornette, all of these great podcasts, and we could not be more thankful for that. So Australia, good on you.
That's fucking good on you, mate.
Tell the rest of the world what you now know.
Absolutely. Do it. Right.
Keep listening, keep
Chuff.
watching, hit the subscribe button if you are watching. Leave us a comment. We got a lot of comments for the Billy stuff.
Of course he did, mate. That engagement was decent, yeah. But we love having him on. We don't have him on for that. We have him on because we enjoy listening to his takes and all that, and he's got good information. He's a great guest.
If you're listening, give us a 5-star, Meltzer style 5-star review. It sounds great, doesn't it?
Ah,
if it's Spotify, I think it's just like or follow or something like that. But holy shit, we've had a blast, and we don't stop.
Keep on keeping on. That's what we're gonna do. 2024, we're pushing. We're pushing on further. We're gonna do more. We got more episodes. We got more guests. We got more shit coming.
Oh,
we
got
got
so
more hot
much.
takes. So much shit coming in your ears. So don't go nowhere.
That is exactly right. So for now, we will say thank you so much to everyone that listened in 2023. Keep on listening in 2024. We have got so much more to give, from us, the heads of the table. I am JB, the man next to me, the best Chris in all of wrestling podcasts, Mr. Chris Dredd. Thank you so much, guys. We will see you next time.
Peace.